Hello my beautiful buds. Welcome back to my channel, Sprouts with Joy. My name is Joy, and if you like to talk about plants, you're in the right place. I've got a lot of planty things to do over the next week or two. Just lots of things on my list, so I figured with this video I would just have you guys tag along with me as I get them done. Today in particular, I need to catch up with watering all of my plants because we're going on a trip this weekend and I want to make sure all my plants are in good shape before we leave and everyone that's thirsty gets some water. So yeah, I guess we can just start off with doing that. So my upstairs plants usually get watered in the bathtub, so I just cram in however many will fit and I start the process. I decided to do some preemptive pest treatment and do a quick spray down of all my plants with a mixture of rubbing alcohol, dish soap, and water. I had some minor cases of spider mites pop up these last few months, so especially since I'm going out of town and can't keep an eye on them, I just want to nip any potential issues in the bud. Besides, it cleans the leaves. So I just try to get underneath the leaves and on top of the leaves and just be pretty thorough. And I also plug up the tub so that the plants can get a little bit of bottom watering action. And since I don't have a detachable shower head, I also use a watering can to make sure everybody gets some love, and I try to soak up the moss poles and all of that stuff. You know, the usual. So I let them sit for a while, and then I start the whole process again with another batch of plants if necessary. And this time, I had a lot of thirsty boys, so it was necessary. And downstairs, I do a very similar process, but in my kitchen sink. And thankfully, I have a very large, nice farmhouse kitchen sink, which I love with all of my heart. And okay, as a side note, that philodendron Brazil desperately needs to be repotted, but I like where it is right now, so I kind of don't have the heart to, but I know I need to do it. Okay, hello again. Admittedly, it has been like over a week since the last time I recorded for this video, but that's because work has been absolutely insane. And of course we went out of town too, so that just kind of threw us all out of our groove. But we're back and I have a long list of things to do. I have no idea if I'll be able to get to them all in this video, probably not, but that's where there'll be future videos that'll come in later. So right now, my tradescantia nanouk looks absolutely pitiful. I don't know, I think well, first of all, some of my cats nibbled on her and I was like, oh, they don't normally touch my plants, but sometimes they find certain plants more attractive. They saw like the pieces, they just like ripped it off or like clawed at it, and they seem fine, but I'm just like, why? But yeah, so as you can see, she just does not look pretty. She's limp in some places, chewed up in other places. Of course, crispy edges happen a lot with tradescantia if you're not nailing their care. So honestly, I kind of just want to start over. My goal, so I have another tradescantia right next to me that isn't perfect, but does look a lot better. It's this albiflora rainbow tradescantia, and she has some like bare stems towards the top, but for the most part, I mean, she has some very, very beautiful leaves in there. Again, not all of them are pretty, but a lot of them are. So I'm trying to get some fullness of growth. Obviously, the tradescantia nanouk is actually usually a little bit thicker of a leaf than this. I don't know, I'm just hoping to get it nice. And I think the only way that I'm gonna do that is to just suck it up and cut it completely back. I'm not entirely sure where I want to cut it, because I've never cut back a tradescantia completely before, but pretty far back, and see if it grows back, and I'll throw the cuttings into a prop box or something like that, just in case, even though they're not very pretty, but at least that way I still have the plant. But honestly, if anything, I know that one of my local nurseries has a pretty abundant supply of tradescantia nanouk for a fairly affordable price. So if I ever needed to replace the plant because this doesn't work, it is possible. Yeah, she's not doing so hot. I'm gonna just start over and make sure I water her consistently. And I think that she might have some mealybugs too, which does not help the situation. So I'll probably add a systemic to the soil as well. But yeah, let's do a big chop. You have a full view of my baby bump now, huzzah. But yeah, there might be a better way to do this, but I'm just gonna do it on my lap because I don't feel like changing the angle all that much. All right, so honestly, this I think is just gonna, yeah, no, that's like basically rotted off. So that's just gone on entirely. But I think I'm just gonna cut all the way down. It might be against my better judgment, but like right here. And I'll just throw this in the prop box, see if it does anything. I'm pretty much just being merciless over here. I'm gonna pull off this leaf to make it easier. Here or here? I'm just gonna go here and here. All right, well, it's done, and now it looks like I have a completely empty and dead pot. But I'll just take out some of these like icky dead leaves, and I'll just see what happens. All right, now we are up in my attic, which it's a finished attic, which is nice, but like it's not exactly a pretty space. It's mostly storage right now, plus my husband's office. There is a south window right here, so this is just where I've been keeping my propagation boxes. And so I came up here to throw the tradescantia just in this kind of catch-all prop box, which right now it's primarily just Synapsis pictus argyrius, and I mean, it's beautiful and it's been thriving in here, but like I really need to pot it up. It's been in here for probably at least 6 months, to be quite honest. So I'm just gonna throw these in here, but I figured I would also take the time to just kind of show you some of what's going on in my prop boxes. I just kind of tossed those in there. They're prop boxes, but also kind of just humidity boxes in general, because I don't have a greenhouse cabinet yet. Someday I would love to get one, but it's just not in the cards for us right now, especially with a new baby on the way. But so sometimes I put kind of like rehab plants in there, or plants that just need a boost of humidity. You know, if they fit in the box, I'll just stick them in there. So you'll see what I'm talking about in just a second. But yeah, so this is box number 1, and you can't really see it right now, so I'm gonna just grab the camera and give you a better look. All right, so in this first little box here, we've got, this is my begonia aerial, and it just was not doing well in ambient humidity, so I just threw it in here, and it's been putting out leaves. Someday maybe I'll propagate it and get it to look nicer, but that's just, she just lives here for now. It's a philodendron brantianum and a Maranta. It's like the rabbit's foot Maranta, I think the actual name is. Leaving me right now. But these have been here since I propagated them in my last propagation video, which was like maybe 7 months ago. So not great. I need to pot them up really badly. There are lots of roots in there. I just haven't dealt with them yet. A lot of the other ones from that video I have dealt with, and they're potted or given away or whatever, but those ones I just haven't touched yet. And then this is just like a Hoya carnosa, I think, that has just been living in here for a long time as well, because I just haven't taken it out. But she's putting out some new leaves, which is fun. And then I've got a lot of cuttings of pink princess, actually, because my pink princess plant was getting very unruly. So I just took a whole bunch of cuttings. I think that they're doing pretty well. I mean, this one's putting out some new growth, but I don't see any root development really, at least not that's visible. I think that there's some in there, but I don't want to bother them too much. Same goes for this guy. There is a little tiny root. I also took a couple of Monstera Peru cuttings. And to my understanding, these guys take a long time to root, so I would not be surprised if these stay in here for a long time. And then right here, this is my favorite. So I've got my Syngonium albo. I went ahead and chopped my albo back, and I would like to, you know, just kind of, there were only 2 stems in that pot going, like 2 plants essentially, so I want to basically pot it up and have a lot more plants and have them going up a pole. And you know, she was just getting a little bit unruly, so this is one of the top cuttings, and she's already got some roots at the bottom there, and a new growth, and I put them in maybe 2 weeks ago. So the Syngoniums, all right, do you see that root right there? So cool. Look at that. Ugh, I just love how fast Syngonium root, in my experience. But I have another cutting of this, and I also have a couple cuts that are in a jar of water that I'm water propagating. They were lower down on the plant. They were not top cuts, basically. So maybe I'll enter some B-roll of that. But their roots are looking really juicy right now too, and it's super fun to watch them grow in the water. So that's that box. And in this bottom bigger box right here, okay, this Alocasia Black Velvet, first of all, look at some of these leaves. They're so absolutely stunning. And there are a couple of new leaves right here that are coming up. Do you see that? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So she actually was in my spring favorites video that never got released when she I think put out this leaf. Oh my gosh, those leaves feel so good. They're so velvety. She's living up to her name. She was thriving really well during the winter, but then as the summer rolled in, I kind of got lazy with refilling my humidifiers, and obviously being pregnant, I just did not have the energy to take care of this plant in the way that I would try to. So she really declined, lost a lot of leaves. So I was like, okay, fine, as a last ditch effort, I just threw her in this prop box, and within a week she started growing this leaf and this leaf, and then like a week later these leaves started popping out, and now they're continuing to grow. So honestly, if you are struggling with your Alocasia Black Velvet, the secret might just be put them in a spot with a crap ton of humidity and a crap ton of sun, because it's a south window, and they'll probably just take off. So that's the secret for a lot of plants, but I can definitively say Alocasia black velvet would probably just do very well in that situation. So just throw them in a humidity box, okay? And then here's the other top cut of the Albosingonium, because remember I had 2 plants in that pot. And same situation, there's roots growing that you can see, just super cool. And there's a new leaf coming in right there. And then down here I have just a couple of Maranta leucanora cuttings because I wanted to get my plant to fill out more. And then here I finally chopped up my Rhaphidophora tetrasperma because it was almost to the ceiling and it was just one long vine and I want it to be several vines. So I made a lot of cuts and they're really pretty leaves. And then right here is a massive rehab plant that I just cut completely back because I was pretty convinced that she was just dead, but she's coming back. It's the Calathea White Star, or Gerbersha White Star, whichever one it is, I don't know. But she's got some pretty leaves coming in. Okay, I'm trying to think of what else I'm gonna do for this video. There are a lot of plants that I want to propagate, or, oh, it is bright, okay. There are a lot of plants that I want to propagate or cut back and deal with right now, but honestly, I prefer to propagate in prop boxes, and as you just saw, I don't have a whole lot of space for a lot of plants to go in said prop boxes, so I might need to buy another prop box, but I don't think I want to do that today. Do you ever get like decision fatigue or overwhelmed when there are too many options? Because I definitely do. Okay, well, after some deliberation, I just decided I'm gonna repot a couple of plants and call it a day. The AC just decided to turn on. I don't know if you can hear that, probably. But I'm losing steam, to be honest. So I'm just gonna repot some plants and it'll be good. So I think I need to change the angle to get a better situation, but first I'll show you the plants. So as you saw from earlier when I was watering my plants, this Syngonium confetti definitely needs a repot because it has been just going deep into this cash po. And Syngonium roots get so crazy, honestly, in my experience. But this newest leaf, it's kind of like reverting a little bit on this newest leaf, but honestly, I'm not mad. It looks kind of cool. And then this is my Philodendron atabapoense, and honestly, like, it's super unstable because it's in this pretty small pot over here. So, and I can see roots at the bottom, so I think that it would be okay to pot up slightly, and I'm gonna try to just take this whole thing as a unit, you know, repot it with the moss pole and everything intact is my goal. So I don't want to bother it too much, but I do want to give it some more stability. So let's get started. All right, I do kind of wish that I had a wide angle lens so that you could see more of me, but honestly, this is just, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. All right, so for the Syngonium, I have a couple of different options based on what the situation looks like. So this is like pretty much the same size of pot, but it would just give the roots a chance to all kind of be back in one spot. So if it's just an abundance of roots that just crept out of the nursery pot in search of water, then maybe I'll just stick it back into one of these and let it keep getting more root bound. But if it's actually absolutely insane, I'll go to this big boy. And of course I have my De La tanks because I do not have the mental capacity to worry about mixing my own soil right now, so this makes it very convenient. So yeah, as you can see, kind of insane, but it's a pretty plant, and I want to, and honestly, yeah, this pot is actually, it's quite a bit deeper, even though, I guess it's a little bit bigger too. It's like maybe a ½ inch bigger, but it's substantially deeper, so this might be the move, but we'll see. All right, let's get in here and hope that we don't damage the roots too much. Okay, okay. So honestly, I think I'm gonna go with this clear pot, and then I'll just have to find a cash po to put it in that, would it fit this? No. I'll just try to find another cash pot to put this in. This is my first time repotting this plant. I got it back in February in Chicago. Yeah, this was one of the plants I got in Chicago during our Chicago trip. So that and my anthurium planonervium. I'm not gonna bother this too much because I don't need to do that. Okay. Clay, what should I talk about?
We can talk about our walk.
Our walk? Okay, sorry, I just asked my husband what I should talk about, and he said that I should talk about our walk from this morning, which I guess I could. This morning, I went on a walk with some friends that also live in the neighborhood that are also like longtime friends. So it's honestly kind of a dream that we all live in the same neighborhood, and we all have toddlers, and we were going to walk down to a local coffee shop. But when we got there, it was closed, which kind of sucks. It was closed for illness, so that's sad. It sounds like a lot of people on staff must be sick, so they just couldn't keep up. So then we walked like an extra, I don't know, quarter of a mile, half a mile to a McDonald's. So we ended up getting breakfast at McDonald's instead of breakfast at a coffee shop. But it's fine. And then there's a really pretty place where there's like waterfalls that's like close to that downtown area. So we also went down there and just, it was a very peaceful morning. It's a nice change of pace because it's the weekend right now and work has been kind of crazy for all of us, so it's nice. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't have filled that up so much. Let's see what we have to work with. Okay. Gentle, gentle, gentle. Oh yeah, baby. Look at those juicy roots. All wrapped around. And there's even some roots like coming back up from the bottom to the top, which does tell me that it definitely was ready for a repot. If you can see, like that. Let me move that leaf. That root right there. So here, actually, I might do just a small layer of soil, but then the rest just kind of, I might have to break up the roots a little bit. I hate to do that, but yeah, just to make it fit, I'm gonna do that just a little bit, but I don't want to bother you too much, sir. Oh my gosh, yeah, this was like such a small amount of soil for that pot, looking at the ratio of like moss pole to soil. That was like not a lot. So I think that's maybe pretty good placement. Like that. He's a little bit unstable. I'm trying to think if I should just redo this. I'm gonna just see if I can do this one more time, but better. I'm so sorry, plant. I'm so sorry. I hated that. All right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let's try again. Alright, so I'm just gonna like let the pole try to go all the way to the bottom, and I'm just kind of smushing the plant down as far as it will go. I was kind of hesitant to do that because I didn't want to damage any of the roots and like have too many air pockets and stuff. But my hope is that when I water it, it'll all kind of fill out. So I don't know. We'll see. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna give these plants a water. Okay. Well, I cleaned up a bit. The plants have been watered. So yeah, if you guys enjoy this video, please feel free to like and comment and subscribe, all those wonderful classic YouTube things. And if you want to check out my Instagram is just the same as my YouTube channel, Sprouts with Joy. So yeah, I'd love to see your beautiful face around more often. So I hope that you have a wonderful and blessed day. Bye-bye.